Think revolvers are outdated? These brand new releases for 2025 just prove the old school wheel gun still has plenty of fight left. What's up, everyone? This is your boy Ted from Line 45, and today we're taking a look at the freshest revolvers that just dropped this year. And yeah, they're built to remind everyone why wheel guns never really left. Before I start, I would really appreciate it if you would push those buttons below. The subscribe button, the notification bell, all of them. This is not necessary, but those little clicks help a brother out. Plus, it pushes me to give you more valuable car-related content on your screen. Now buckle up and let's get back to the video. Henry Repeating Arms Golden Boy Revolver. The Henry Repeating Arms Golden Boy Revolver earns its spot as one of the best new revolvers of 2025 because it delivers something nobody else is offering right now. A true rimfire wheel gun that's not only functional and accurate, but oozes style and Americana. As someone who already owns the original Golden Boy lever action .22, I was itching to see if Henry could pull off the same magic in a 6-gun, and I'll say it flat out, they did. This is a double-action/single-action rimfire revolver with a full 10-round capacity and a 4-inch heavy barrel that gives it some real muzzle stability. It's chambered for .22 short, long, and long rifle. But let's be honest, this thing was built with .22 LR in mind. At 37 ounces, it's hefty enough to manage recoil and balance well, but not so heavy that you won't carry it on a hike or a hunt. And the build quality is definitely legit. The polished blue finish on the barrel and frame looks like something you'd find on a custom revolver. Then there's the brass grip frame, which mirrors the look of Henry's Golden Boy rifle perfectly, nostalgic without being gaudy. It comes with smooth American walnut stocks, and you can pick between the traditional gunfighter square butt or the bird's head grip, depending on how you want it to carry or point. One of the biggest surprises was how well it shot. Using decent ammo like Monarch and Federal Punch, I was easily getting sub-2-inch groups at 15 yards. The interchangeable front sight comes with 3 heights out of the box, so dialing in elevation isn't a problem. The fixed rear sight, serrated hammer, and push-forward cylinder release round out a platform that's built to run, not just to look pretty. With an MSRP of $928, you're getting a 10-shot. That blends cowboy charm with real shooter cred. It's not just a range plinker, it's a true outdoorsman's rimfire revolver, and it pairs perfectly with Henry's iconic lever gun. Now, if you're thinking classic's fun but you want something with a little more bite, the next revolvers will get you hooked. Smith & Wesson Classic No-Lock Revolvers. When I first heard Smith & Wesson was bringing back a line of no-lock classic revolvers, I didn't just raise an eyebrow, I grabbed my wallet. As someone who's owned both old-school pre-lock Smiths and the newer ones with that infamous so-called Hillary hole, this felt like S&W finally stopped ignoring the crowd that actually shoots and carries these things. And let me tell you, after getting range time with the Model 36, Model 10, and Model 19, these aren't just reboots. They're legit throwbacks that shoot like they're supposed to. Take the Model 36 Classic, that little J-frame snub in 38 Special Plus P. It's got a 1.88-inch barrel, a half-moon front sight, and a rear gutter sight milled into the top strap, just like the old Chief Specials. The checkered walnut grips aren't just for looks either. They anchor the gun nicely for a small frame revolver. I carried it IWB for a week, and it was light, tight, and easy to draw. Then you've got the Model 10, a K-frame, with a 4-inch barrel, blued carbon steel, and that heavy barrel feel that soaks up recoil better than you'd expect. The action was smooth as glass, and I put 6 rounds of 148-grain wad cutters into one ragged hole at 10 yards without even trying to push it hard. But the real showstopper is definitely the Model 19 Classic in .357 Magnum. That 4.25-inch barrel, adjustable rear sight, and red ramp front make it range-ready right out of the box. Shooting full-power 158 grain, .357 loads felt stout, sure, but that K-frame balance and trigger made it easy to stay accurate and fast. No internal lock, no extra junk. Just classic S&W steel, the way it used to be built, now brought back with clean lines and better timing than most of the modern production stuff. Prices come in at $849 for the 36, $979 for the 10, and $1,099 for the 19. Honestly, they're worth every penny. These guns shoot like they've got history in their bones. Diamondback, SDR 3-inch. Diamondback didn't just dip their toe into the revolver game with the 3-inch version of the SDR, they kicked the damn door open. This thing is built like it means business, and you can feel it the second you put rounds through it. The whole frame, barrel, and 6-shot cylinder are forged stainless steel, not cast, and finished in a polished sheen that looks sharp without screaming for attention. It's chambered in .357 magnum, but also runs .38 special plus P all day, which makes it versatile whether you're training or carrying. The 3-inch barrel really gives it some teeth, long enough to get better ballistic performance but short enough to stay compact. It balances great in hand, especially with the Hogue monogrip that eats up recoil without bulking up the frame. And at 23.9 ounces, it's light enough to carry but hefty enough to handle full-house magnums without jumping out of your hand. The trigger is where things really impressed me. It's double action, single action, and the non-stacking pull sits between 9 to 11.5 pounds in double action. It's smooth all the way through with a crisp break that actually surprised me. This isn't just some tossed-together revolver. They tuned this thing to perform. Sights are low-profile fiber optics, with an orange front and green rear that pop in daylight and sit flush with the frame. They're snag-free, fast to pick up and make this revolver genuinely easy to run at speed. Reloading's slick, too. Diamondback added chamfered cylinder chambers and a push-button release that's intuitive and quick under pressure. You're getting all this for around $750 MSRP, and honestly, it shoots and carries something priced way higher. This one's not a range toy. It's a workhorse that's ready for daily carry or home defense right out of the box. Next up, though, let's talk about another revolver that has been making waves. Lipsey's exclusive Smith & Wesson Ultimate Carry J-Frame. Smith & Wesson's J-Frames have always had a loyal following, but I've got to say, this Lipsey's exclusive Ultimate Carry J-Frame is a different beast altogether. I've carried and shot my fair share of snubbies over the years, and most of them, let's be honest, feel like compromise guns. But this one feels like they finally listened to everything we've been complaining about and just fixed it. For starters, it weighs only 16 ounces, thanks to that airweight aluminum frame, but it doesn't feel flimsy. That's because they beefed it up inside with what they're calling an endurance package, titanium pins and upgraded internals that actually hold up to high round count practice sessions. This isn't just a 5-shot backup gun you shoot twice a year. This thing's built to run. Mine's chambered in 38 special plus P, and I've had zero issues pushing hotter defensive loads. The XS tritium front sight with the green ring is pinned to the barrel ramp, easy to pick up, even under stress, and paired with a U-notch rear sight that's actually dovetailed into the top strap. That's a huge upgrade from the milled gutters we're used to seeing on these. The VZG-10 grips are certainly game changers. They climb higher up the backstrap, giving you way more control, especially with plus P loads. They're also relieved for speed loaders, flush cut for concealment, and actually feel good in the hand. Combine that with chamfered chambers, a beveled cylinder, and a reworked trigger system, and you've got something that's smooth to shoot and fast to reload. MSRP sits around $759, but this thing feels like a revolver that should cost more. It's purpose-built, lightweight, and ready to carry out of the box with zero upgrades needed. If you're serious about EDC and want a revolver that's more than just a backup, these Lipsey's revolvers check all the boxes. And speaking of lightweight carry revolvers, wait until you see what Charter Arms cooked up with their new Mag-Pug combo. Charter Arms Mag-Pug combo. If there's one revolver that really caught me off guard this year, in the best way, it's the Charter Arms Mag-Pug combo. I wasn't expecting much going in. Charter's always been the no-frills, made-in-USA kind of brand, right? But after putting both .357 and 9mm through this thing at the range, I came away seriously impressed. Not just because it shoots well, but because it actually makes sense for folks like me who want one gun that can do a bit of everything. You get 2 complete cylinders, a .357 Magnum or .38 special cylinder, and another one in 9mm, and they swap out in under a minute with just a flathead screwdriver. No moon clips are needed either. The 9mm setup uses tiny spring-loaded ball detents in the extractor that catch the rim of each case. It's clever and simple, and it works most of the time. Ejection is not flawless if you're being gentle, but hit that rod with authority, and those cases pop out clean. What surprised me even more is how shootable this gun is. My test model had the 4.2-inch ported barrel, and that, paired with the full underlug, really helped soak up some of that 357 recoil. The oversized walnut backpacker grips are chunky in all the right ways. Flat across the front strap with that thumb notch carved in, giving you real control, especially one-handed. I didn't love how it bit into my thumb after a few cylinders of magnum loads, but it was nothing a rubber grip swap wouldn't fix. The solid stainless frame paired with a cast aluminum trigger guard and grip housing keeps weight down to around 26 ounces. Just enough heft to feel stable but still easy to carry. Accuracy with both calibers was totally respectable. I had 9mm Hornady FTX grouping around 3 inches at 25 yards, and 357s were even tighter. For around $659, you're getting a true dual-caliber revolver that doesn't just look good on paper, it actually delivers at the range. And if you're thinking that's a hard act to follow, stick around because you'll love the revamped version of the Model 629. Lipsey's exclusive S&W Model 629 mountain gun in .44 Magnum. There's something about a big-bore revolver that just hits differently, and when I finally got my hands on the Lipsey's exclusive Smith & Wesson Model 629 mountain gun, it didn't take long to figure out this thing was built for folks who actually use their guns. It's not just range toys or collector's pieces. This one's for the guy who needs a .44 Magnum that won't yank his belt off halfway up the trail. Lightweight where it counts, but still every bit a serious working revolver. We're talking about a 39-ounce stainless steel N-frame chambered in .44 Magnum with full compatibility for .44 Special and even .44 Russian. The real magic here is the 4-inch tapered barrel. It trims the weight, keeps the balance tight, and still gives you enough sight radius and velocity to make that big bullet count. It has a gold bead Patridge front sight and a fully adjustable rear, which makes dialing in your loads quick and easy. And no, you won't find any of that internal lock nonsense above the cylinder release, just clean steel where it belongs. Now let's talk about its grip. The Bear Hug walnut stocks from Tyler Gunworks look classy, but they're not just for show. That palm swell locks your hand in, and the square butt shape over the round butt frame gives you more real estate to manage recoil. I put nearly 130 rounds of mixed Magnum and Hotpoint .44 Special loads through it in a single session, and while my hand was feeling it by the end, the gun never skipped a beat. Trigger pull is about 4 pounds, 9 ounces in single action, and around 10 pounds in double action. It's smooth, with a solid break and no surprises. This revolver doesn't fight you, it works with you. With an MSRP of $1,199, you're paying for performance, reliability, and that classic S&W pedigree, with Lipsey's touch making it even better. Now, if you think that's impressive, then you should check out the next Lipsey revolver. Lipsey's Ruger Bisley Blackhawk Flat-Up in .41 Magnum. The Lipsey's exclusive Ruger Bisley Blackhawk Flat-Top in .41 Magnum is easily one of the most exciting new revolvers to drop in 2025. And I don't say that lightly. This is the kind of six-gun that doesn't just hit the nostalgia nerve, it earns its keep on the belt. I've been running this Bisley for the better part of the season, and it's got that rare combo of classic styling, real-world utility, and thoughtful design that you just don't see enough of anymore. What makes it special starts with the flat-top frame, a nod to Ruger's old-school Blackhawk lineage, minus the protective ears around the rear sight. Paired with the Ruger Bisley grip frame, you're looking at a revolver that's built for recoil control. That longer, straighter backstrap puts the push of a Hotpoint .41 Magnum load right into the meat of your palm, not your knuckles. For a cartridge that hits harder than a .357 but softer than a .44 Magnum, it's the perfect match. This model ships with a 5.5-inch barrel, giving you great balance, better velocity, and enough sight radius to stretch out to 50 yards with confidence. The serrated ramp front sight is pinned, so if you want to swap in a fiber optic or gold bead, it's an easy job. I found the sights shot a little low out of the box, but that was quickly fixed with a slight rear sight adjustment. And if you're picky, a shorter front blade can dial it in further. Accuracy is definitely fantastic. I was holding sub-3-inch groups at 25 yards with factory 210 grain JSP and even tighter with the hand loads. The 40-ounce stainless frame makes it easy to carry all day without turning into an anchor. Its MSRP lands around $899, which for a stainless Ruger Bisley chambered in a classic Magnum caliber is frankly a steal. The bottom line is that this revolver isn't just a cool collector's piece. It's a working revolver that feels at home in the woods, on the hip, or at the range.